Hey y'all, it is me Dawn, and today is going to be a embarrassing slash funny story for you. Usually, let me just put it this way. If you know me, I have a lot of tattoos. I don't have a lot of tattoos. I have 4 tattoos, and I have a lot of piercings. So, I'm just going to let you know. This story is going to be about the time that I sneezed on the girl that was piercing me while I was getting my nose pierced. Okay. So let's back up 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago. It was after my daughter was born. My daughter might have been 2-3 months old when I decided to do this. I think it was like fall time or something. I don't remember. But, I had just recently gotten over cold. So I was kind of like, I was going to pierce my nose like before like I got my cold, but I never got the opportunity to because I obviously got sick. So I was kind of waiting out the cold and my cold out, and I was like getting better so that I wouldn't have to be disgustingly sick in front of this person that was going to be piercing me. And I was considerate, you know what I'm saying? I was nice. I wasn't going to get nobody else sick about it. So, I mean, I literally waited a week after I had, like, no symptoms, no runny nose, no cough, no nothing like that before I actually went to do this. So, I was perfectly, like, I would assume that I was, like, anywhere between 90 to 100% better in my eyes. I was still, like, having a cough drop every now and then, blowing my nose, but that was just typical stuff because it was getting colder. But nothing too bad. So I was sitting around with my brother at my mom's house, and I was like, I want to go get my nose pierced. And he looks at me and he's like, are you serious? Like, you're really going to go do this? And I'm like, yes. And my brother at the time was like in high school, and he must have been about 14 or 15 years old. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go do it. So I was like, Mom, like, can you watch my daughter while I go do this? Because my daughter at the time was like 3 or 4 months old. She's like, yeah, go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need some time for yourself. Because like at that time I was like busy 100% being like mommy mode. And so I just needed to go out and just do this. It was something that I wanted to do for myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I hadn't done anything like this in a long time by myself. Like since I had my daughter. So we're driving along. We're so happy. Me and my brother are like singing like, random songs on the radio and just goofing off. And I'm so nervous. I'm getting like, the closer I get to this place, I'm getting so nervous. So we get there, and I've been to this place before because one of my tattoos I got from this place. So I walk in and they're like, can I help you? I say, yeah, I want my nose pierced. And it was a girl. And she was really pretty. Like, she literally, if you looked at her, you wouldn't have thought she was a tattoo artist or a piercer. I don't know if she did tattoos either, but I was, she pierced me, so that's all I know. Like, she just didn't look like she worked in a tattoo shop. Let's just put it that way. She had like a couple of tattoos, like, on her arm, and she had, like, her ears gauged and things like that. But, like, if you would have looked at her, like, I mean, she was I'm not saying, like, all tattoo artists and piercers have to have, like, their bodies covered in tattoos and piercings. It's just, she just looked like a normal, like, girl with a few tattoos and gauged ears, you know what I'm saying? And she literally, she was really pretty. She just, and I was just amazed about her looks. Like, let's just put it this way. I even told her, I was like, you're really pretty. And she had these, like, really long brown hair, and I was, like, in awe about it. I was like, your hair is so, and her hair was, like, freaking long. Her hair was, like, down to her ass. And I was like, your hair is so pretty. And I was like talking to her like while we were like getting the paperwork and everything about like what she did to her hair. And she was telling me and all this stuff. I can't even remember what she did to her hair now that I'm talking about it. But I remember having that conversation about her hair. And so I was signing all the like liability paperwork crap that they hand you at the start of the day before you do it, you know what I mean? And I give my license, my ID, and she goes and makes a copy of it, and all this stuff. And so then she's like, and then I hand her the money, because that's what they normally do. So we go, she's like, okay, well, come with me. And we go into the little room at, I guess it's like her little station or something, I don't really know. And there's another guy over here with tattooing another guy. So there's another tattoo artist tattooing a guy. And I mean, I was just in there chilled, and she's like, well, let me go get the stuff, because she didn't have like all of the equipment that she needed here, like, you know, in that room. And so I'm waiting, and I'm having like, me and my brother having this conversation with the tattoo artist and the dude, and he was like, I think he was tattooing like some sort of like, I don't know, he was like tattooing the dude's like calf or something. So like I could look, and it looked kind of like a gargoyle but like lion combined thing. I don't know what it was, but it was pretty freaking cool. And we were just looking at it, and like my brother walked over, and no, my brother didn't. I walked over, and I was just checking out the dude's tattoo, and I'm like, that is really like, I just looked at him, and I was like, that is really fucking cool. Like, that's all I say. And he's like, and the dude's like, thank you, you know, this is, he was telling me, I think he was telling me that it was like his family, what is it? Shield, or part of their family shield, or something, his family shield or something like that. I don't really remember like what he was saying, but it's like, he said it was like the middle, I don't know. He said that there's like this, and he said he was inspired by his grandmother's house, which was like a plantation / castle thing that had these statues. And he was so like, they took them down like years ago, like, you know, because they were like falling apart. But he took a picture of it before, like he had a picture of it like when he was little, before they were started falling apart. And so that's why he just put it on his, because it's like a memory of his grandparents, he said, or like his grandmother and his, you know, grandfather or something like that. It was a pretty cool story, let's just put it that way. I was like, well, that's cool, you know what I'm saying? And then the girl comes back, and then I hop back on the little table thing, and she's opening everything in front of me, which is something that you always want to make sure when you go to a tattoo place. So me and my brother are just like goofing around, like while we're waiting, we're talking, you know, we're, you know, on our phones, Facebooking, you know, doing our little thing. He's watching like YouTube videos, because this is like this ain't the start of like smartphones, but he did have like a little tiny smartphone. So we were watching like stupid ass people like on YouTube, and like cracking up, like, you know, just kind of killing the time, you know, and not making so much pressure on her. And like, we're not trying to like watch her or anything. I mean, like, I was watching her in the corner of my eye just to make sure like what she was doing, and seeing like what she was doing. But I kind of had confidence, because I seen her like come with all like the little tools and things she had to do for the you know, for my piercing. So I wasn't really like too worried about it. She had it laying on one of those little pad things that like nurses and doctors use when they like do not surgery. Yeah. Like, I guess surgery and, you know, drawing blood and what have you, you know, sort of thing when you go to like the hospital or the doctor's office. That's kind of like what that's what she had, you know, to use, which I thought that was really cool too. Because, you know, that's a medical, supply, if that makes sense. So she's all like, she goes like up on a shelf, and she picks up her mirror that she has with like it's like a black mirror with like a handle that you can hold on the bottom or to the side, whichever one you want. And she gets the little marker that she has, and she just like looks at my nose, and she's like, she like tells me to look up, and she's like holding my head up, and she makes the dot. My brother's already over here like laughing at some bullshit. So I said, Matthew, put that up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want him to like see this, because he's like, let me just put it this way. He was at that point, or that age, where he was interested in piercings and getting piercings. So I wanted him to actually come with me to see what it was like to get a piercing before he got a piercing, so he can like see the full on effect of it in person. And he's been with me before, but he was a little bit younger when I got my very first piercings, and, you know, piercings in between. So yeah. So as you know, like previously I was telling you, I just recently got over a cold. So she makes me like look at her. She's like, does this look right? I say yes. So she's like, well, on 1, 2, 3, I'm going to put this needle through your nose. And I want you to breathe in on 3. Like when I say 1, 2, 3, I'm going to say breathe, you breathe. Okay. And relax. Just stay relaxed. That's all she was telling me. So she said, your eyes may water, you know, it could either be one side, like the side that you're getting, you know, your left side, or it could be both. It doesn't matter. And then also your nose would run like a runny nose, and that's usually all that happens, because you're messing with your, like, you know, your nose, and that's just a very sensitive area anyway, is what she was telling me. And which I already knew that because I'd had my nose pierced on this side before, so I knew like what to expect with that. And usually it was just my eye watering. I wasn't wearing any makeup that day, so like I wasn't like having some crazy like makeup fail or anything like that. So that was a good thing. I just went in there with no makeup on and just like did it because like I knew my eyes was gonna water, and so I was like, no mascara, no eyeshadow, no nothing like that. I don't want none of my makeup to smear or anything like that. I can do my makeup later on. So she's like, 1, 2, 3, breathe. And I breathe. She pokes my nose, like I can feel the needle go through, and I sneeze. I'm not talking about no bitch sneeze, like a achoo, like that. I'm talking about achoo, and I'm talking about it is like snot, like comes out, like even like chunks of like, I know this is disgusting, but like boogers come out of my nose, like on this side, not on this side, but it was like running on this side, and my eyes was watering, like it was awful. I sneezed all over the poor girl. Like she had to like literally change her gloves so she can continue doing what she did. So she was over here. She gave me a Kleenex to like wipe off. I had this huge needle in my nose, like going from here to here. It felt like my brother is laughing the entire time, thinking it's so hilarious, and I am so mortified. I'm so embarrassed that this happened to me, and my brother is over here going ha 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 ah, ha 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 ha, like a dumbass motherfucker that he is, you know what I'm saying? And I am so like mortified, and I'm like, I am so sorry, like this shit has never happened to me. Like I've never had anything embarrassing happen to me when I'm getting like anything pierced or tattooed. So like no, like I don't know, like, well, I guess because I just got over cold and maybe I just had like the backfire of it. I don't know what it is. She's like, it's okay, you know, people sometimes do that. It's normal. Like, you're not the first, and you're not going to be the last that sneezes on me. I've had worse people, or I've had people do worse things, like, you know, reactions when they get other piercings. Let's just put it that way. And then she goes and tells me this little side story about, I know, like, tattoo artists, I don't know if they're supposed to be confidential about it, but this woman who literally just got finished breastfeeding her child decides to go get her boobs, her nipples pierced, and when the girl went to, like, you know, squeeze, like clamp it down, milk went all over the place. So, you know, she's like, it's nothing, you know, it's, you know, shit happens, you know what I'm saying? That's what she said, shit happens. So at this time, I even forgot about these, like the guy tattooing and the guy getting tattooed was still there. They were busting out laughing. The tattoo artist, the guy doing the tattoo, he had to stop what he was doing in mid laughing. I mean, he was just like laughing so hard. Everybody in the room was laughing, but like me. And at this point, like, and then like, I just look over at my brother and he's laughing so fucking hard. I start laughing too with him. And so she's like, and I could not control laughing. Like, I mean, it was like a laugh fest in this fucking room at this point. And oh my God, it was so embarrassing. So the girl was like, okay, let me just get your ring in and we'll go from there, and then I'll give you your thing and you can just laugh all day long after that. So I calm down, like I get my composure back, you know, just for the second. She puts the jewelry in, and it's this big honking ring with a ball on it. Later, I ended up taking the ball off and squeezing it with a pair of pliers, but that's a long story short. So I felt really bad about it. I kept apologizing. She's telling me it's fine, you know, this shit happens all the time. Like, she's just trying to reassure me. So she's giving me like my aftercare papers and stuff like that, like stuff that I need to do to take care of my nose and keep it from not getting infected. And we're walking down the, like, there's like a little hallway, and then there, like, and then go into the main part where like the waiting room or whatever it's called, I don't know, like the little chill lounge area thing. And I am still apologizing to this girl, and we both like automatically bust out laughing, like, and she's like, you know what? She looked at me and she's like, you know, we calmed down. She's like, make sure you take care of it. I'm glad that you thought, you know, you saw the humor out of this. Some people are just so mortified that they like literally don't want to do no more. After that, they just want to get the fuck out of there. And she said, you are a trooper, because, you know, sneezing all over me is a very embarrassing thing. I mean, I was so embarrassed. Like, my brother even said that I was like, my cheeks were going, you know, like turning like bright red. And I was just so embarrassed at this point. Like, it's not even funny. Like, I was just, but then at the end it was like we laughed about it, and I mean, to this day, like, it's funny now because like it happened years ago, you know, but then it wasn't that funny until like everything calmed down and I was out of the room. But let me just tell you something. Let me just give you some advice. Never go while you're sick, or I would wait at least a month after you're sick so you'll make sure you're 100% healthy, better, whatever, to get a piercing, especially if it's somewhere on your face. You don't, you know, like, I mean, it's just not recommended, because you'll end up getting embarrassed like me and having a funny story to tell everybody down the road. Let's just put it that way. So, moral of the story is never be sick while you're getting a piercing, or be almost completely finished but not really finished being sick. And also, you know, expect embarrassing things to happen when you go get a piercing, especially when it involves your nose or even your tongue or your lip. You know, it could do that too. So yeah, I hope this was funny. I try to make, you know, I'm not trying to make it like crazy funny and make you like, I want to make you laugh, but like this was really like a true story that happened to me, and I just had to tell it to you guys because I think that, you know, I'm now like seeing the humor in it. Back then I was a little embarrassed and still embarrassed, but laughing at the same time, sort of thing. But now it's not as embarrassing to me because I'm like, oh, shit happens all the time. Like, I'm just like, whatever. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you like more true story videos from me, let me know, because I really love telling these stories to you. I think I've done like 2 so far. But yeah, thanks for watching, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.